Well, at last report in Wisconsin, 238,000 people did not have a job, but were looking for one.
So why are hundreds of prisoners holding down jobs on the outside? And why won't the state tell us where they're working? Fox 11 on special assignment is shining a light on the state's work release program tonight. Here's Robert Hornacek.
Nearly every day, inmates at Sanger B. Powers Correctional Center in Oneida hop in vans and head to work. They're not alone. It's the same story at the Winnebago Correctional Center in Oshkosh and 12 other minimum security facilities in the state that are part of the work release program. According to the Department of Corrections, 97% of all inmates will eventually get out. The goal of work release is to help give them skills to survive on the outside. Right now, there are 759 inmates on work release across the state, 176 of them in northeast Wisconsin. Susan Ross oversees both work release sites in northeast Wisconsin.
Are the inmates who work out of this institution taking jobs from people on the outside?
No.
Ross says inmates are only allowed to take jobs when employers can't find anyone else.
What's done to ensure that those inmates aren't taking jobs from folks on the outside?
We work closely with companies to determine what their recruitment efforts are for civilian employees. That's one of the first questions we ask when we're approached by a company, asking if we've got any inmates that would be able to work at their facility.
But union leaders say the inmates are taking jobs from people who are unemployed.
I'm really opposed to it at this time because of the state of our economy.
Tony Vanderblumen is the president of the Green Bay Labor Council.
I don't have any problem, absolutely no problem when they get out that they get a job, and I hope they do, all of them. But to take them on a temporary basis at the expense of people who are unemployed, I think is wrong.
Inmates currently work at 165 Wisconsin companies. 19 of those businesses are in northeast Wisconsin. Which businesses? We asked the Department of Corrections for that information, but the agency denied our formal open records request. In an email to Fox 11, the department expressed security concerns about the public knowing the names of the employers in the program, saying the release of the information could enhance the potential for escape and lead to disruption at the workplace. The department also says it is difficult to recruit employers to participate in the program. The DOC argues that releasing the information may cause the loss of current employers who are afraid of being seen in a negative light for hiring inmates. One company that hires work release inmates is Brillion-based manufacturer Aaron's. Back in September, the company told Fox 11 that of its 1,300 employees, 64 were inmates on work release. We wanted to talk with the company about the work release program, but a spokesperson declined our request for an on-camera interview. During a recent job fair, company officials told Fox 11 they've had a hard time filling positions.
So a lot of individuals aren't always interested in the temporary work, and that led us to the work release program.
The company did provide a statement to Fox 11 saying, quote, "The work release program has been a good solution for Aaron's to fill some of its seasonal short-term needs for employees which fluctuate throughout the year." The statement goes on to say work release employees fill only jobs that Aaron's had not been able to fill through traditional means. Paul Vandenheuvel from Bayland Buildings says good employees are hard to find.
They come in, they think they can handle the work, and then they do the work for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and they just decide they can't handle it. That's long hours and it's hard work.
His company has been part of the work release program for 10 years. Right now, just one inmate is working for Bayland. In the past, some inmates have stayed with the company after being released.
I'm a person that believes in giving people second chances, and I think that and that's what this is about, giving these guys second chances.
Jim Golombeski from the Bay Area Workforce Development Board says he's heard from several employers who say they can't find people to do certain jobs, typically jobs that are physically demanding, second shift, and temporary. So they turn to the work release program.
I suppose you could make an argument that if those people were not available, the employers might be forced to pay more for those jobs. At the same time, the employers might decide to move away to a place where there's a lower wage scale.
But advocates for the unemployed have another view. Judy Conti is with the National Employment Law Project. She says with so many people out of work, companies should have no problem finding workers.
So if the jobs were valued at appropriate salaries, they'd probably have a lot more competition for the jobs that were out there.
So what do people who are looking for jobs have to say about the work release program? We went to the job center in Green Bay to find out.
I think that there's a lot of good talent in jails and prisons right now.
I think it's a good thing because, if you can rehabilitate, the people who are in prison, obviously it's good for everybody, including themselves.
I spoke with several work release inmates at Sanger B. Powers, and none of the inmates would talk about where they work because they did not have permission from their employers. They also would not talk about their crimes. But they do say they expect the program to help them once they're free again. Michael Anthony is doing time on drug charges.
It's very helpful for us for when we do get released back into the community, to have a stable work history and people that's willing to hire us.
Michael Olson is a 7-time drunk driver.
This allows me the opportunity to have an option for a job once I'm released. If it's a job I can keep, then it's there. If not, I walk out with absolutely nothing, fall back into the same position I was in before.
Work release inmates are paid the same wage as any other employee, so businesses are not able to use inmate labor to undercut their competition. The vast majority of the inmates make less than $10 an hour. So what happens to their money? Well, they have to use it to pay their own way. And so far this year, the state has collected $3.1 million from work release inmates. $2.3 million of that was for room and board, sales tax, and travel expenses. More than $386,000 was used to pay for court costs and restitution. And another $263,000 was for child support. If you have a story you'd like us to look into, email us at fox11 on special assignment at WLUK.com.